Hello, divine sparkles, eternal, eternal sparkles, eternal souls. The Course says that that which God makes is eternal. And guess what? We were made by God. We're eternal. We can't get out of it. It's a long-term relationship. It's a really long-term relationship, and it's a really good one. Um, so I'm so excited right now because this is my absolute favorite topic about the Course, and really just of spiritual of just this theme. Um, and it's called by different things. One title of it is called Universalism, the conviction, the belief, the faith that everyone and everything will be made holy at some point. It's also called universal salvation or universal reconciliation. Um, it's a predominant belief in early Christianity, which has led me and many, many scholars and more, many people of faith to believe that that's what Christ actually taught, that everyone would be saved. In fact, scholars have traced the creation of this idea of eternal hell, and we don't have any reference to it until 150 years after Jesus was no longer in his body. And it's been very clearly traced to a mistranslation. Um, so, universal salvation. This idea that there's only, in life, they say there's two inevitable things, death and taxes. It's kind of a joke, kind of a dark joke, actually. But what if there's really only one inevitable thing? Salvation, redemption, enlightenment, freedom, liberation, whatever you call it. And that's what I believe is really the only inevitable. That's like the only inevitable thing, that everyone and everything will be joyfully reconciled to God. The how and the when of it, that's a little bit up in the air. I'll say the when. The how, through God, through the grace and glory of God and God's helpers, which you and I actually are as well. We're helpers of God. We get to be part of that. That's why I love this idea, because it's not just like, oh, everyone and everything will be saved. It's like everyone and everything will be saved, and we're a part of it. The little way, that's not so little way that we're a part of it, is a miracle, is working miracles. Here's what the Course has to say about that. And this is from the section, The Heralds of Eternity. I am using the HLC, and so it's chapter 20, section F. In this world, God's Son comes closest to himself in a holy relationship. Then he begins to find the certainty his Father has in him. And there he finds his function of restoring his Father's laws to what was held outside them and finding what was lost. Only in time can anything be lost, and never lost forever. So do the parts of God's Son gradually join in time. With each joining is the end of time brought near. Each miracle of joining is a herald of eternity. No one who has a single purpose, unified and sure, can be afraid. No one who shares his purpose with him cannot be one with him. Each herald of eternity sings of the end of sin and fear. Each speaks in time of what is far beyond it. Two voices raised together call to the hearts of everyone and let them beat as one. So, in a sense, the Course talks about how the atonement is the answer, is really the ultimate answer and the answer to every problem. And so, day by day, moment by moment, situation by situation, we can apply. We can apply the atonement. We can apply this idea of inevitable, as it so beautifully says right here, the end of sin and fear. And sin, according to the Course, just means not right mindedness. In Aramaic, sin just means to miss the mark. So it doesn't mean what we've been taught it means at all. And so today I had two kind of big bumps occur. Um, one of them is a bump. A dear friend is going through a very challenging situation, and so there was some fear for this person, and then the way that what they're going through is impacts my friendship with them, and so I just worked, a little bit of Course principles, and then I worked today's lesson, and then I was just restored to that faith and trust that actually everything is going to be all right. Doesn't mean it's going to work out in time the way we want it to, and when we're in that state of faith and trust, or as the Course says, true perception, then this idea everything will be all right, we don't even have to think it. It's there. And once I got back into right-mindedness, which the lesson helped with, then this idea, like universal salvation, everything will be all right. It's just a natural feeling. When we're not in that state, it seems like sometimes like the craziest idea in the world. What do you mean everything will be all right? Because that's before I started working the lesson. That's where I was. I was all like stirred up and like, oh my God, what am I going to do about that? And then my friend's situation, and then I have, something was going on. Something was going on for me. It's like, and it feels like the opposite. When we're in contraction, when we're in not right mindedness, it feels like, oh my God, I'm stuck in this problem that I'm never going to get out of, right? That's kind of how the ego operates. So yeah, I had this personal situation going on, and you know, um, even from a worldly perspective, it's not a big deal. And I was just like amplifying it, like, oh my God, this is never gonna end. There's no solution. What am I gonna do? Poor me. Um, and then that's the grace of a miracle, and that's the grace of this program. That's a miracle. That's a shift in perception. Is um, 1 minute we feel utterly hopeless and like doomed, in a sense doomed, and then with a little willingness and practicing, the putting into practice the right Course principle for a particular situation, we can go from doom to peace in an instant, in a second. And then that shift then points to what awaits us in eternity. Just that ongoing peace, goodness, joy. Yeah. I can't remember what movie it is, but I saw this movie once. It was these two guys sitting in a bar. They both had a little bit to drink. But this one guy just really opens up. He goes, you know what I really want? He was a little drunk. You could tell, like, hey, this isn't something he would have normally said. But anyway, he just looked this other guy right in the eye. And he's like, not just really want, he's like, all I really want is someone to hold me in their arms and tell me everything's going to be okay. And isn't that what we all want? Isn't that like our deepest desire? Isn't that everyone's deepest desire? And that's what the atonement is. The atonement is the end of all problems. It's the declaration everything will be all right. And the promise of God promise of Christ that everything will be all right. And then we take that in, through the miracle, we get a taste of what that'll be like. So, reminds me of one of my favorite songs. I think it's by Bob Marley. Darling, don't you worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right now. I think that's really the whole course. A Course in Miracles, the short version. Darling, don't you worry, 'cause every little thing is gonna be all right now. Oh yeah. Let's take off the oh yeah. Let's just keep it really short. Darling, darling child of God, there's no need to worry about a thing. Every little thing's going to be all right. And don't take my word for it. And don't take the Course's word for it. Put the Course into practice and find out for yourself. If I can go from hopelessness, doom, and overwhelm to peace and trust in a matter of minutes, what's possible for you? And I'm not the first person to experience that. It's not the first time I've experienced that. One of my spiritual heroes, very Christ-like being, said, nothing is impossible. Nothing is incurable for God. So let's take that to heart. And that includes not only help in our individual situations, but help on the big picture, like the absolute end. The absolute end of all problems and challenges. In fact, he said truth alone will endure. So that everything that's not true, everything that's not in harmony with truth, it won't endure. And so the trick with the Course is, the Course makes a lot of bold promises. And it also says, by bold promises about this ultimate release. And it also says it's not your job. This is almost an exact quote. It's not your job to be without problems. It's your job to not be stuck in them. So when a problem comes up, the ego wants to go, oh, look, the Course isn't working. But that's actually an unrealistic expectation. We're walking the road to the point where problems don't even come up, or when they present themselves, they're miracled instantly. And we're not there until we are. I'm not there yet, but with a little help from all of you, let's save some time and get there more quickly. So much gratitude, so much love. Thanks so much for joining in. Thanks for, the Course talks about, that section I read, it calls the miracles the heralds of eternity. And I also feel like all of us are heralds of eternity. In carrying this message, we're really speaking for eternity. We're really declaring, like, hey, God's going to win. Like, eternity's going to win. It's one thing to intellectually be like, well, yes, in eternity, all separation's already been healed. But it's another thing to be here in the dream, in time, and look around us. And to have challenges right in our face. Be like, you know what? Eternity's going to win. Everything that's not eternal goodness will pass away. Take care. Aloha.